Okay, so today, pretty happy. I don't know how to say the name, so I'm going to say Ormaise, Ormaise, who knows? It's a Chinese company, so whatever that would sound like in Chinese. I'm going with Ormaise Leg Press off of Temu. I got this on a Black Friday special for $374, shipped to my door, taxes, everything. It was $402, I think is what it came out to, something like that. So anytime you're talking about a multi-$1,000 machine for $400, I'm gonna have some questions. Like, how did you get it down to that price? So I gotta be honest, when I was opening this thing up, I was expecting like little 1 inch by 1 inch metal like you would find on like a bookcase or something that you would buy. That's not the case. It's not commercial, but that is about the same as you would see on some of these higher end for home benches. These pegs here for the weights, those are metal, those aren't plastic. The tip's plastic, that's what she said. So the footprint is a little large. You're talking, these are stall mats. It is about the same length as one full stall mat, so you're pushing 6 feet, give or take. I could give you the exact, but 6 feet's close enough. It's about 2 feet and some change wide. That ain't bad. And you can see it's about chest height, so 5 foot something. The rollers are pretty smooth, so it works just like a normal leg press. Their capacity, they say, is 800 pounds. I don't know if I'm going to test that. I'll explain why when I get a little further along. These bumper plates here so you can see one more neat thing that this has, maybe. So right here on both sides is a peg to place more plates. You could probably stack 5 or 6 45s on there, not bumpers of course, but regular plates. There's one on either side. I have it right up against the wall. I have 2 commercial plate trees right there, plus my commercial bench over here has storage on it, plus there's a leg press. I have storage on my wall. I have more storage over here that I'm going to put on the other probably side of it, or maybe right here. Haven't decided yet. So lots of those. 3 pegs to adjust the height, which I'll lay down on here. These slide off. I mean, it's a leg press. You do the leg press, right? So what determines the height for how far it pulls down is there's a peg here that you can move up or down. This is maybe not a strong point. It is still, but just to show you, like, this is what a lot of the construction is. So right there, you know, it doesn't look like much by itself, but most of these joints are one of these plus a bracket plus another one, so 2 or 3 layers of this. That's plenty. This height is adjustable to really catch me here. I'm using like the last 1 or 2 pegs. I just don't have great foot mobility, so those that are more flexible, that will come into play a lot more, but I don't bend that way, so nothing I can do. But it would catch it. I could just move my legs off. You can put about 4, maybe 5 45s on each side and underneath. Right now I just have 4 because I just wanted to see how well it would slide. So underneath here, this back is adjustable. It goes from that angle there where you're pretty much sitting straight up, which isn't quite right for me, to back there, to the middle-ish, which is where I like it. There are 4 settings, which I gotta be honest, that's pretty good, all things considered. This bracket back here, this may not be the best. This is why I'm not gonna test 800 pounds. This isn't very thick. It's about as big around as my finger. It's welded to this piece, which is then bolted into here, which is on a bracket, which is then welded onto this metal piece here. I would assume this to be the weak point in the metal, but for the average person who's leg pressing 200 or 300 pounds at most, this is gonna work great. How well it holds up in 5 years, I don't know, but pretty good. The main weakness of leg home presses is the actual foot pad is going to be substantially smaller than on a commercial one. So you just don't get as many foot placements. But again, it's 1/10 of the cost. So what were you expecting? There's enough space to turn your feet in and out some. You can move them up and down a little bit, not a lot. There's a handle here, so if you got stuck, somebody could help you push up on it if you wanted to. That shouldn't really happen. You can just roll out, but it's an option. I would have to have another one to show you. If you look at a lot of these leg presses online, there is a bracket under here that sticks out that the foot plate sits on. The bracket makes it so that you can't use this as a toe extension. So you put your feet on it and you do some calf extensions, which I'll do here in a second. I like this as a secondary movement. There's studies that show that standing calf raise is more effective than seated, so that's why I don't have a seated calf raise in the house. I just use this. I also have a vertical leg press which does the same thing, but again, I'm just not that flexible. Butt pad is fine. There are band pegs down here, so you can do some band work if you want to. I'm not a huge fan of that, but if you are, it's there. Knock yourself out. Those just slide in. They are adjustable. There's a few different spots, like 4 or 5 holes you can stick that in. I'm never going to use it, but hey, if you're into that, it's there. The padding here isn't great. It's not very thick, maybe a 1/2 inch. The plywood holding that on there is about 1/4 inch. So again, at that 800-pound weight, plus my fat ass, that's 1,000 pounds. I do not think that would hold up to 1,000 pounds. We're not gonna test it to find out. I love myself too much. If I was keeping this, I'd probably take it to somebody who knows how to weld. I would just stick a big ass piece of metal here. It's a leg press. You can just lay on it. Who cares how comfortable it is? As long as it's smooth, or hell, wear a sweater weight leg press. Who cares? It'd be great. You do that. Maybe you replace this with a proper one-piece weld, and I think you could improve the quality on this pretty dramatically. So I think I've said enough. You know what a leg press does. It's a lot of assembly, like 3 hours of assembly. Because to get it to you cheap, they have to ship it in the smallest possible box. You know, you're going to get something this size in this small boxes for it to be in 1,000,000 pieces, and it is a lot of pieces. So that is all I want to say about that. I'm just going to do a few reps. I've only got 4 plates on. I'm going to take it up to 8, and we'll just see what that feels like. So we'll do 2 on top, 2 on bottom, just to show that you can get plates on pretty easily. Nice and smooth. It comes with a bunch of clamps so you can hold these on there. It's a leg press. It shouldn't wobble enough for that to be a factor, but maybe I'm wrong. So let's do about 10 of each one. So we have 4 plates. You can do the math. 4 times 90 is, wait for it, 180, 360. So So we'll do some calf at the end here, which is my favorite part. 1, 2. Ooh, those are tight today. That's it. I mean, that moved well. Am I going to double that to test the weight capacity? Hell no. I do not trust this. I didn't feel it move, but we're not going to push it. So pretty good. Great deal.